parents, yes, parents, I so admire and applaud the support you're giving your children and their schools during these times of transition. It's difficult for everybody. But I'd like to give you a tip. Actually, writing is not learning. Doing leads to learning. Children need to explore, experiment, get their hands into whatever the task is to make it their own and therefore learn it. So that's why pictures are so important. So a child knows that this is a top. They probably play with them. So they recognize the picture. They associate it. They say, oh yeah, it's a top. They know how to use it. Then they're ready to read the symbols, the letters that make the word top, and then write it. Okay, enough lecture for today, but I did want to share with you the path children are on in their learning process. Well, we've been looking at the three-letter words that most children are beginning to read and write, and today we'll look at some that have the I sound, like hip, lip, and the O sound, like top. These are the short A, I, and short O sounds. So what can we do with these sounds to make it interesting for the children? Well, we've already talked about making little books, pictures. They say the word, they write it, and they read it. And we did some of them in the last couple of weeks. Now, another kind of game you can play is simply have the random pictures on the table and the word cards, and the children have to try to match them. Okay, this is, oh yeah, that's a pin. Great. See if you can find the word pin. Yeah, you got it. Very good. So pin and pin. And this is just a game that you can play with the word cards. It's more important to read than to write at this stage. Another activity is simply pasting pictures on a paper. Let's see, we've got some words here, pictures here. What is that? Yeah, it's a pot. Good. See if we can find the word pot. Say the word pot, match it, and then they can go ahead and write it under the picture. Just that random work might be a little easier for you than making the booklets. Now we can play the matching game, when children really are familiar with what the pictures are and the word cards. In the beginning, just lay them out on the table in a random fashion, and the children have to match them. So, let's see now. Okay, this is a lid, and oh yeah, I found the lid. So they're just matching it this way. But once they're used to it, now you're going to really play memory, and you're going to turn it upside down. So they're going to have to remember and really think about it. Where do you want to start? Okay, let's pick up this one. Oh, lip. Now, which word card says lip? Should we try this? Yeah, you got a point. Good. And so it becomes a game. And you can play that over and over again. Children can do the same thing for hours on end, as you know. As they become more fluent, of course, they can write phrases and sentences, always using the pictures to show the meaning. Without meaning, there's no learning. For example, the word lad is not very familiar. Oh, they can learn LAD lad, LAD lad. They can write it 10 times. But they'll never know how to use it if they don't know what the word means. Now, one more thing you can always do with the children when you're working on certain words and sounds is use storybooks that use those sounds. If you give a pig a pancake, or hide and seek pig, or Clifford the big red dog. So you're using those sounds in storybooks. And for the aw sound, magic porridge pot, or fox's socks. These stories bring the sounds to life and some of the words that you're focusing on. Well, now, I don't actually know the curriculum that your children and your school are focusing on. If you have any suggestions or any questions, send me a comment, and maybe we can focus some of our discussions on things that you and your children need right now. Let me hear from you.